Hey, what's up everybody? Well, I'll tell you what, man. Couple things. One, if I had this to do over again, couple things. You know, man, life is about learning, right? Learning experiences, the joys of learning. So, if I had this to do all over again, what I would do is I would have taped the neck up differently than the way I did. That I would have taped the neck off in the, guys, don't look. Ah! Oh my goodness, right? But good news, yeah, so the good news is the neck is smooth on the back. It looks horrible, okay? And one of the things that I keep telling myself is don't look with your eyes, look with your fingers, right? For smoothness sake. So it is pretty smooth is what I'm gonna say. And I'm not done working on it. What I wanted to do is I wanted to glue it. I wanted to get it under string tension. I wanted to check the electronics before I move on to anything else. Okay, so the one issue that I have is that the fretboard is cracked. And so I have glued it, and I've attempted to glue the everything back together, but I've got a little bit of a divot in the fret. So I'm gonna take, Mike, let me know what you think, man. I'm gonna take some UV resin and I'm gonna recreate the part of the fretboard that's missing. So this is the divot that I was talking about. So you'll see that the fretboard was cracked here. J-Man, you were asking me if the fingerboard was cracked. And then it goes over into this other fret. And so I have super glued the crack, but because I don't have great clamps, maybe I didn't clamp that down enough, but for whatever reason, we've got this gap here. Obviously, you can tell where the clamp wasn't on the fret right or whatever. So my intent at this point is to fill this in with some UV resin or something and just try to get a level place. Yeah, man, it's probably just a shop guitar. I mean, I don't know, man. So two fun facts. So one is this guitar did not have a hex nut on the three-way toggle switch. And so that is a 1532, otherwise known as perhaps 12 mil hex nut. And that is the wrong part. I ordered hex nuts, they were the wrong size. I ordered them again. And that time I got sophisticated and did a little research on what size hex nut I needed for this, and it was 1532, and so I ordered that. But this has like a lip on it, and yeah, so my toggle switch isn't really long enough, so it falls out of position. It goes into the three positions, but so I'm gonna have to get a short one instead of, this is probably, you know, oh, I don't know. I don't have my ruler with me. That's a good 5 mil in height, probably. Here's the thing I was talking about, how it's doubled, and I thought that would look really good. But if it was just the height of the nut, then I'd have more play on the switch. Anyway, I just want to check electronics. And I'm trying not to turn it up because my daughter's really been suffering with migraines, so I'm trying not to disturb her, of course. Okay, so one point of learning, I would have researched the part I needed. Now these are like $6. It's not a massive deal, and I can return them, although I can't return this one because I've scratched it putting it on, of course, because it's me. And I also found out, if you're playing the home game, I know it's a kill switch, okay, and I appreciated those of you who were hanging out with me and said, yeah, man, it's a kill switch. So you get this machine gun. I don't know why you want that. I guess some people think that's cool. Alright, so it is a kill switch. It is also the tone. There's one volume knob for the pickups. And all the pickups work. And because the fretboard is cracked, I don't... Initially what I thought I would do, you guys know my heart, right? So, well, you don't know my heart. You barely know me. But if you knew me better, you'd know my heart. And you would know that this came to me for free. And my hope was that I could repair it and then I could donate it. To somebody. But since this is since the fretboard is cracked, what I don't like to donate is junk. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about giving this to anybody knowing that this could be a problem for them. I don't want to say, hey, here's a blessing, and then it end up being a problem. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not, but I got some buzz here. Now part of that is because I'm really heavy-handed. But you can still hear the buzz. Maybe you can hear it. Maybe you can't even hear the amp because I've got everything kind of toned down, again, for my daughter's sake. But what I'm going to do from here, first I'm going to tackle filling the fingerboard. Let me get my terminology straight at TED Talks Guitars and Life. I'm going to fill that divot in the fingerboard, and then when that gets all dried, then I'm going to tackle the fingerboard, which for the most part I was able to get somewhat clean, but I've really got to clean this, man. It's got DNA all over it. And I think based on the buzz and the truss rod is good, the action is good, but I've still got buzz. So I'll more than likely check the frets. I may have to level some frets. I may just do a complete fret leveling just to see if I can reduce buzzing. The reason I'm not going to the E string is because that's not an E string. That's like a very rusty, in the case, in the gig bag that this guitar came with were strings. And the strings were rusty inside the packages. So that's why I'm not going to the E string on anything I'm playing. Not that you're listening. You don't come to TED Talks Guitars and Life to hear me play guitar. guys. That's the update. Electronics all work. I'm going to have to get I wouldn't have to, but I'm going to get a thinner nut down here so that that's not sticking up, so that when you go into a position, you're there until you decide to otherwise. And then I will tackle the fingerboard and then fill in that divot in, and then eventually I will refinish the back of this. Right? Yeah, so about that, man, that's the journey. And then I guess just because it's so entirely jacked up that I wouldn't feel good giving it to somebody, I don't know, put in the comments, man, what do you think? If you were a player, but you're either a player that doesn't have a guitar, or you're just starting out and you don't have a guitar, and somebody gave you a guitar. Now I'm gonna try to make this all black back here. I mean, you won't be able to tell on the back. You'll probably be able to tell on the front that the fingerboard has been repaired some. But if it plays, what do you think? I mean, let's say somebody gave this to you. Here's a free guitar. Rock on with your bad selves, right? Like Ted says, all right? And you have it 6 months, and the fingerboard, for whatever reason, cracks again, or the neck cracks again, and you think, man, that guy that blessed me with that guitar gave me a piece of junk. I mean, what do you think, man? Is that a deal breaker or not? You know? And again, big lesson learned here. I should have taped, and I'm saying before I glued, I should have taped around the crack so that only the crack showed, and then did the gluing and the things. But the break was such, anyway, I'm not going to make any excuses, but there's no need to have any sanding really past this period, this point. So all of that's unnecessary. All of that's unnecessary. I could have taped that off and done a better job. But that's how I learned, guys. I learned by messing things up. I learned by doing. And man, what a journey this thing called life is, man. Well, hey, let me know in the comments what you think, man. If you see anything that I can do differently, let me know. Again, the fingerboard, I'm going to get some UV resin and kind of fill that in a little bit. And hey, man, wherever you are in your guitar journey, man, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you, Jack. Hey, rock on with your bad selves, everybody. Catch you down the road. That's the Ted riff, Mike. It's the only riff I know, apparently. Catch y'all later. That's crazy.